Hi guys, it's the Forgetful Scholar, and let's chat about books. 2 books this week. I am the Fire Lord, and I will have Christmas and a DNF. And if you can't tell, so I have a chronic illness that has chronic pain. So when chronic, high levels of pain meets insomnia at the apex, I become a little ball of rage. So I did not have a good week. And I am a mood reader, so I understand that going into this, but we'll get into that. Okay. So the first book is I'm the Fire Lord and I Will Have Christmas. It is an MF sci-fi, paranormal, contemporary monster romance. Fire Lord Holiday. Monsters Love Curvy Girls, book 8. And this is Michele Mills. Look at the 3 little cute little babies. Okay. So as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of holiday novellas. I'm just not. This one I would give 2 stars to. It was cute, you know. It centers around Thane and Charlotte, the Fire Lord, and his human mate and their kids. When Charlotte was pregnant, she always watched Home Alone. She loves it. The holiday from old Earth, because again, in this universe, humans were kidnapped from Earth and taken to a new Earth where they were slaves. So they're kind of displaced with no culture of their own, and they could get illegal vids off of this Earth, you know, of what's going on. And Earth is considered a no-go. We're protected because we're an inferior prehistoric race, and they just sort of don't F with us. You know what I mean? They leave us alone. And yes, I'm trying to curse less because I was at Ross the other day, and I process out loud sometimes, and I was looking at something and I said what the F with the curse word instead of the letter, and this little boy magically teleported there. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, you heard nothing. And I ran away. Because I don't want to curse around children. I gotta get better at that. So, plus my niece is at an age where she'll tell my sister. And I don't want my sister to beat the crap out of me. So, you know. Anyway, so Thane gets a great idea that he has the gardener build a facsimile of a pine tree so they can have a Christmas tree. And, you know, for his human mate, and he gets an idea of invite all the humans and their mates to celebrate this Christmas. And all the humans are super excited. There was one point in the book where Thane's brother, who married a private investigator, human private investigator, she almost blew it. She's like, they're hiding something. I'll figure out what. And I'm like, chill, okay? Just chill. If my brother-in-law and my brother were whispering about something, I'd be like, okay, they're probably trying to surprise my sister or my niece with something. I would just let it go. You know what I mean? If anything, if I was super suspicious, I'd go to my brother and be like, hey, you guys planning a surprise for our sister? Cool, I won't say anything. Good. You know, that's all. I wouldn't... I was just like, would you relax? Do you not trust your husband and your brother-in-law? Relax, okay? So, you know, he brings everybody there as a context of surprise party for Charlotte. Turns out surprise Christmas for everybody. The women are probably more excited than the kids are, which I thought was cute. The butler dresses up as Santa Claus, which was cute. It was all cute. I did lose track of the kids and who belonged to who, because I think every couple at least had 2 kids. So there was a lot of children, a lot of new names running around. And what I was impressed by, that the author didn't confuse the kids at all. It was very clear the author knew who belonged to who and what was going on. So that was good. That was nice. You know, it's short. It was cute. I tried reading it because I read it because I was like, this looks really adorable. Even though I'm not a fan of Christmas ones, this was one of the better ones. And the other book I'm going to talk about just put me in a slump. So it's hopefully this will bring me back. Not really, but we'll talk about that later. So this is a 2-star just because holiday stuff is not really my thing. But if you read the Curvy, the Monsters of Curvy Girls series, and you like when you see where the new characters are, the old characters are, and like all their kids and stuff, I think you'll find it really cute. I did like that aspect of it. It was like checking in with old friends that you lost touch with, so that was cute. I mean, that's all I could say about it. It was cute. It was cute. Okay, sorry. All right. All right, the DNF is Among the Living, Psycop 1 by Jordan Castillo Price. Okay, so this is a DNF for me. I think I got to page 17 before I was like, you know what? I don't have to read this. I don't like it. I'm done. So I was looking for, I look for romance novels on Kindle and such. And this came up and I realized it's an urban fantasy, not exactly a romance. So, like a book can have romance in it, but is not a romance novel. Just like romance novels can have like a murder mystery in it, but it's not considered a murder mystery. You know what I mean? There's different things with that. So I'm like, okay, I know this isn't exactly what I enjoy reading, but the synopsis seems really interesting. Let me give it a try. Mistake, but whatever. So, I don't even know his name because I don't care. Victor, right? Yes, Victor. Okay, so the main character is Victor. So it opens up. He's in his partner's retirement party. And he took a couple of psychic pills. Now, I had to read that twice because I was like, wait a minute, no, well, okay, anti-psychic, not antipsychotic. Okay, cool. Pills. He wanders around the house and he's been taking 3 pills so far, and he's like, man, I took 2. Like internally, he's like, whoa, this is a lot, whatever. We find out, later on that because his power is a medium, he sees dead people, and he's allowed to take, I don't even know what the name of the anti-psychic pill is, I don't care, when he's off duty. So we kind of already get a sense of world building, which was really good, and a sense of what kind of person he is really, really well right off the bat. And I like that. I was like, ooh, this is some good stuff right now. Okay. He runs into another cop who is not psychic because each psychic is paired up with a non-psychic for the investigations, which makes sense. His last name is Marks, the cop he runs into. And he's like, he's, internally, oh, Marks is so hot, whatever. Marks kisses him and tastes the anti-psychic meds. And he's like, oh, you're on that? Like, okay. And then they're in the bathroom and Victor's giving Marks a blowjob. And I was like, okay, Instilus, don't like. I don't know if these are supposed to be the main characters, the main romance, and I don't know if knowing this is an urban fantasy, I went into it expecting a love triangle, which I hate, but seems to be like what fantasy writers are all they're writing so far. I don't know why. It's boring. Please move on. So they're down the hall from like his old partner's teenage son and all his friends hanging out. They're a couple doors down and he's giving this guy a blowjob in the bathroom. I was like, ew, way not to have class. That's fine. All right. You're both adults, whatever. And then I remember, oh wait, he's like 3 pills into this anti-psychic stuff and he's like he's super high. You know what I mean? And the guy getting the BJ knows that. So I was like, ew. I was like, ew. I hate this guy. I hate this Marks guy. That is so gross. I understand Victor is like an adult, but can he really, how does this pill work? Is this really consent? Because that is gross. Because Marks guy is sober. He's not. That is it for me. Okay. So strike 1, right? Okay. Strike 2. So here, let me talk about strike 2. Okay. Again, like I said, little ball of rage this week. So I understood maybe I overacted, but I did ask somebody in my real life how they felt about this. But anyway. He gets a new partner. I don't remember what her first name is. Her last name is Gutierrez, I believe. And the sentence was She looked as Latina as her name would suggest. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? So I was like, okay. All right. I do not like this. That is, what the hell? And this is around page 17, 16. Like this, that's as far as I kind of got. And then strike 3 is, she says, oh, she's from New Mexico. And I was like, oh, that's where I live, New Mexico. Cool. Because you always, there's always a little bit of delight when the town you live in or your hometown, whatever, kind of shows up in a book, right? State, not town. Wow. Okay. Anyway. And he's like, oh, she says Mexico like Mexico and not Mexico, huh? And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Because after that, I was like, excuse the F me. What are you talking about right now? And internally, I felt like, would I feel different if the author is Hispanic themselves? And I was like, you know what? No, they should have known better. That was my exact thought. Okay, now remember that that's my exact thought. Okay, we're going to put that there for a minute. So I go to my Puerto Rican mom and I dictate the second strike, the one about her looking as much as her name would suggest. My mother rolls her eyes, and my mom is wonderfully dramatic. She just doesn't just roll her eyes. She does a whole head wivel too, to let you know she is not pleased, okay? And she's like, her first words out of her mouth were like, what does that mean? Is she blanquita? Is she not? Does she have dark hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, brown eyes? What does that mean? And I was like, yeah, what does that mean? And then she looks at me, she's like, are you as Latino looking as your name would suggest? And I'm like, I know, like, I know, And yes, before, oh, you're only half Puerto Rican. You're right, I am only half Puerto Rican, and I'm half Spaniard. My dad, from Spain, moved here when he was in high school. My mother, Puerto Rican. I am 100% Sosongoya. And like, I have a very Spaniard last name. Do I look as Spanish as my name would suggest? Like, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna punch something. Whew. Okay. And I was like, okay, thank you. Because that was my reaction, Mom. Now, what do you think of this? Just clear your head. And I said, okay, so she's from New Mexico. And her too, she was like, oh, New Mexico. I was like, I know, right? And then I told her how internally he's like, oh, I wonder why she didn't say New Mexico. And my mom was like, what? My mom was like, now when my mom goes, that means she is so annoyed the eye roll does not suffice. Like, if I wrote this, I would probably have gotten the full name and probably would have had to dodge some chancletas coming at me, okay? So, like, is like, no, that is like, get ready. She's about to explode, kind of moment. And my mom was like, oh, great. Wonderful stereotyping. I mean, what does that mean? I was like, I know. I was like, it's not like she met her partner who is described as a Caucasian male. She's not talking Spanish to him. Why would she say New Mexico? It would be Nuevo Mexico, and that's how you pronounce Mexico in Spanish, right? So why would she do that to her Caucasian partner? And just, I could understand later in her life, during the book, I don't know if this happens, but if she slips into Spanish words sometimes, because I do that. I was raised bilingual. Sometimes I do that, And I know plenty of people who have had like Spanish ancestry and don't speak Spanish, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? So I was just like, whoa, I'm done. Look, like page 17, I'm done. F you, I can't believe this. I'm like, what the hell? And I was very gratified that my mom had the same response as I did. Because again, in a really shitty mood, so that does affect my perception on books and things like that. So I asked her the same question I internally asked myself. Would it have made it better or worse? Like, would it have made it better if the writer themselves is Hispanic? Her exact words, she didn't even take a second. She's like, no, it makes it worse. They should have known better. Yeah, exactly. Remember what I said put over here? Exactly word for word what I said. It makes it worse. And I was like, I don't have to suffer through this this stereotyping, this bullshit. I'm done. Now, I don't know who this writer is. I don't care who this writer is. I don't know their ethnicity. And personally, that's none of my business, right? And I'm just like, do I have to start like investigating every author I want to read to see if they're a dick or not? Because you know what? I'm lazy. I don't want to. I want to pick up a book. I want to enjoy it and be transported to a fun little story for a couple of hours. And then I want to regurgitate how much I liked or didn't like it to you guys. That's what I want to do. Do I want to have to become like an internet sleuth to find out? No, I don't. I don't want to. I'm lazy. I have like a job in real life that takes time. I don't want to do it. Okay? I don't want to. I don't freaking want to. And like thinking about it just makes it like worse in my head. Like the more I think about it, the worse it gets. And like this book has a lot of good ratings and I'm like, really? And like look as Latina as her name would suggest. My mother, brown eyes, brown hair. Her sister, black hair, blue eyes. Her other sister, brown hair, green eyes. My grandma, light eyes, dark hair. On my dad's side, he had hazel eyes and dark hair. His brother, my uncle, black hair and like kind of like a very striking blue-gray eyes that all my cousins on that side have. And their mother is from Spain as well. And she has darker eyes too. So like, what are you talking? And one of my cousins, blonde hair. I have cousins that are blonde hair on both sides. I have like my brother has dirty blonde hair. Like, I'm sorry. What are we supposed to look like? Because we are people of vast different countries and different cultures. Like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about right now? You know what I mean? Like, no. I have a very good friend that lives in Santa Fe. Love her to pieces. Miss her a lot. She's very blanquita like I am and dark hair and dark eyes. Her family's been from New Mexico for generations upon generations. Like, what are you talking about right now? She is Mexican heritage. You know, like, what? We are not one size fits all, yes, piece of shit. Okay, well, there goes my moratorium on curse words. How long is it? Oh, about 19 hours. That's pretty good for me. That's like a new record for me. All right, I'll take it. But like, I got so heated. Because, like, you know, my hair's still wet, if you can't tell. I was in the shower, and I was getting so heated. It's like, you know, let me just talk about this. I need to get this out of my brain. And that's what I find great about this channel for, like, my mental health. Believe it or not, I'm able to, like, vomit this crap out. And, like, by the time it's up, it's gone from my head. So hopefully that will work with this. And it's a shame because I got the character who he is right away and I got the world and the world seemed interesting. But you know, you had to be a stereotypical bitch, right? Just had it. Couldn't help yourself, huh? Could not help yourself. So there we go. Pissed me off, sent me, and now I'm like in a huge rut and I don't feel like reading anything. So will I make videos next week? I don't know. I'm going to try, but like, I don't think so. I think I'm going to take a week off. And if you're new to the channel, Tuesdays I do book reviews. Thursdays I do Sim 4 builds. And sometimes randomly on Sundays I do something. So I think next week I'm just going to not do anything and trying to get out of this rut. Maybe not reading anything for a week will make me like want to again. Man, seriously? Looks as Hispanic, like look as Latina as her name would suggest. What does that mean? What does that mean? Dark hair, light hair. Dark eyes, light eyes. Blanquita, not. Like, what does that mean? Huh? As you can tell, that hit a red button for me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go before I start banging my head into the bookcase behind me. I'm gonna go cuddle my dog and try to go get some sleep. Yeah, okay. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye. Man, that pissed me off.